The COP30 has officially kicked off today in Belém, Brazil. Naturally, today's key focus is going to be on the agenda. It's absolutely vital that by the end of the day one, parties are able to come to a certain form of consensus regarding the key priorities forming the very essence of that agenda. It hasn't happened yet, but there's no guarantee it will happen today. There are certain examples in the history of conference of the parties that agenda was adopted actually on day two. Today we heard from COP29 President Mukhtar Babayev, who delivered his remarks, particularly focusing on the necessity of establishing and actually appreciating this continuum between different COPs.
Without Baku finance goal, without finance, nothing to do, because all the plans, all these investment or subsidies to the vulnerable countries, it depends to the financial decisions made in Baku. That's why today so important to start to implement the process, start to implement the contributions. That's why we today represent the document, invoice for the donors to perform their pledge, their obligations for adaptation funds. So for other funds related to the vulnerable countries, to the developing world.
Naturally, COP29 in Baku built upon UAE consensus, and it is widely expected, and it goes without saying, that COP30 in Brazil is going to build upon the achievements attained in Baku. So it's going to be a very long day here. And earlier I actually spoke to the governor of the state of Pará of Brazil, Mr. Helbert Banhunha, and asked about the key sensibilities and actually the particular focus of this very COP. Let's have a listen to what he said.
I think this opportunity is a highlight opportunity to put Amazon rainforest in the central agenda in COP30. We need urgent actions to engage the leaders to most fund and ask the climate events sometimes. So I believe in COP30 we deliver more results, more ambitions, and policies to create the balance, they reduce the deforestation, the development, the sustainable development, and the environmental agendas.
Well, the reality is that each COP has got its own peculiar specific characteristics. In Baku, the key focus was finance. NCQG, that fundamental decision about climate finance, was the key element of that very COP. But that COP was incredibly successful. On day one, back in 2024, there was on day one and day two, there was a consensus on the loss and damage fund. There was also agreement on Article 6.2 and 6.4. There was a particular particular interest ascribed to the needs of indigenous people in different parts of the world, and also, of course, small island developing countries. During this COP, bearing in mind the locality, bearing in mind that we are actually in Brazil, the biodiversity, the plight of the people living in the Amazon basin are going to be discussed and carefully deliberated upon. Well, it's going to be a long day, as I said earlier. That's all for now. Orkhan Amashov, A News.